Impersonalists, Mayavadis, they don't want you to achieve spiritual birth. They trick you. They're very good at doing it. They trick you into thinking they're giving you some spiritual advancement and things like that. But they're ultimately voidists, or becoming impersonal is denying your own self. It's spiritual suicide. So that's why Mayavada impersonalism, it's covered Buddhism. Sastras describe Buddhism ultimately is about voidism, sunyavada. So why waste so much time following these philosophies whose end goal is nothing? The end goal of Buddhism is literally nothingness, becoming nothing, realizing you're nothing, which is all nonsense. There's no proof for any of that. Real success in Buddhism would be like suicide. That's why Mayavada and Buddhism in our Sanatan Dharma, Vaishnava, real Sanatan Dharma, it's called spiritual suicide. It's the opposite of spiritual birth. So we shouldn't become fooled and misled by these kinds of teachers. We have an existence now. We exist. We have consciousness and self-awareness. Spiritual birth does not mean we merge into nothingness and lose our individuality and lose our free will and consciousness. Merging into some so-called oneness is the same thing as merging into nothingness, because we lose our individual consciousness and reality. We can't be aware of anything at that point. We're just lost. It's described like merging into a light. Like a moth merges into a flame. What happens? It just becomes burnt and ash and disappears. Shunya means nothing. So Mayavada, they preach, Om Purnamada Purnam. Purnam means zero. They take the opposite meaning of the direct meaning. Om Purnamada Purnam is a famous verse in Ishopanishad that says the Lord is always complete. Instead they say the only way He can be complete, because it says even if you take away the infinite from the infinite remains. So they say the only logical explanation for this is that from zero, subtracted from zero, you have zero. Advaya Gyan Paratapa means, Advaya means non-dual. It means we are like in the same family with the absolute truth. But erasing that individuality erases our potential for relationship, not only with others, but with the Supreme Lord Himself. So that's why it's called spiritual suicide. Voidists and impersonalists, they're like murderers of the living entities in the worst sense, because you kill somebody once and destroy their material body, they get another body, but you're destroying their spiritual potential and making them merge into some kind of void. Then it's spiritual suicide, but it's spiritual murder to lead them towards that point. We shouldn't be confused by different flowery words of the Buddhist. The goal that is given is sunyavada. Nothing, like enter into the absolute impersonal or void. But it's a false promise that they give. No one who's happy in a relationship in this world, if you tell him, oh, here's a gun, shoot yourself, you'll get the goal of impersonalism, becoming nothing. If you don't believe in this transcendent soul, then, give him a gun, shoot yourself. That's spiritual suicide. That's Buddhism. That's the goal of Buddhism. So how can the material thing be greater than the spiritual thing? We have a material body, and we have consciousness, we have relationship, we can experience love, happiness, joy, also pain, but not being able to experience anything, entering into nothing, how is that greater than matter or material existence? So spiritual existence has to be greater or higher than material existence. Therefore, if we lose our personal identity, or any kind of personal identity, how can that be any kind of higher existence? Now, we can say that there's a good example given that we can understand that there's a genuine currency by the fact that there's counterfeit currency. So you can use this for many kinds of examples, like with gurus. Oh, there's so many bogus gurus. That means there must be a genuine guru. Just like counterfeit money cannot exist in the marketplace without genuine money being there. So similarly, use this with gurus, and you can use this with different philosophies. But with us, we're saying that we have in this life we have some consciousness, we have identity, we have a soul, meaning we have some, whatever you want to call it, we have a self. And erasing that, how is that a higher state than having that? Our idea is that this is a counterfeit existence, meaning the first anartha, or misconception of the soul, is called Svarup Brahm, mistaken identity. We forgot who we truly are, and we assume so many different false identities. And transmigration means that we go through one species to another species in the 8,400,000 species of life, thinking I am this, I am that, I'm this body, I'm that body, I'm this kind of animal, this kind of person. These are all false identifications, Svarup Brahm. But that does not mean we cannot have a true personal form, nature, and all these things. The spiritual path of Vaishnavas teaches that the highest attainment of spiritual development is realizing your true spiritual form, your name, where you live, who your family is, what your relationship with God is. That's true spiritual development, not Voidism and Buddhism and impersonalism. That's all, complete nonsense. We're trying to understand our unique identity with the absolute truth. It's personal. Something impersonal cannot be higher than something personal. So how can the goal be a lower thing than where we are now? We don't want to confine that absolute truth to limited consciousness. So we're expanding consciousness, but entering into our true spiritual identity. That's kind of like that's our goal. We should not deny our conscious potential by trying to erase it. Okay? Thank you for your time. Hare Krishna. Radharani, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to our channel down there. Share with your friends, ask a question in the comments, and check out our website, kripa.tv, for courses, to support us, and for our articles and more. Haribo.